Hello, happy witching hour. I wanted to come and talk a little bit about people being possessed by vloggers. And it's a very, very real thing. It is a very, very, very real thing. Um, I have literally watched social media and the YouTube airwaves possess even grown men. I've seen it. It's very sad. Um, I've sat back and watched another man, a man attack and berate another man. And it seems like that other man is bowing down to it. It does. And it's very, very disappointing. When you look at some of these vloggers on here, like for example, Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor, who's done, he's completely done. Okay. These particular vloggers have an intent to control other people's minds based upon their own, emotional plight to destroy the mind. I believe that there are a lot of these vloggers on here that they want to destroy people's minds. And when you destroy somebody's mind, that's it. I think that airwaves and frequencies and music, especially when people are using laugh tracks and people are using, certain beats and frequencies and tempos, I think it can actually place people under possession. And it's devastating. I never forget the phone call that I got from a woman that was extremely distraught. She felt like Kevin Samuels had ruined her life. And I agree. I agree with her. And you know what? Especially when it comes to Black men, people don't care about what happens to Black people. I looked at a documentary about this older white man. He was in like his 50s or 60s. He was a father, he was a husband, and he began watching like these political channels. And it was like politics, some kind of politics specifically, having to do with, I guess, the government or, just certain things. But what his family was concerned about was the fact that he had changed so much. Like they said that their father went from being very fun loving, very, um, down to earth to being very angry and literally lost his mind over watching things in social media. And at the end of this documentary, it was the wife that had pulled her husband out of that. You see stories and you hear stories like that. And I'm gonna try to find that I'm gonna try to find it. I watched it like a couple of months ago. And it was the wife that had stopped him from watching that stuff. Stuff that you watch in social media can affect you. I have seen it. I have seen it. It's not that the person speaking is powerful, it's more so the message and maybe possibly demons or either just their intent. And you got to be careful in social media. I don't care how old you are. The crazy part about it is that black males every day are being ruined by social media and nobody says anything. Um, it's a form of oppression, is what black people can do to other black people. Now, that's not going to happen to me. I have a very, very strong mind. And, I've worked for years to develop my third eye. And so, it's impossible to place me under mind control. But I can tell you that a lot of these vloggers, um, Kevin Samuels is one of them. I had the lady call me. She said her fiance had been watching Kevin Samuels and he just changed all of a sudden. And I seen this young lady, like it ain't about looks, but I seen this young lady and she was like like gorgeous. But all of a sudden, all of her imperfections, he started to point them out. So a lot of these male vloggers are on here telling men to not love women that are imperfect. Y'all don't think that that's a problem? Or is it not a problem because it's happening so much in the black community? I mean, do black people not care about each other unless we're dead in the ground? Like you see so many black people being supportive and loving amongst one another when somebody dies or gets killed, but nobody cares when people's mental health is being affected. Mental health is not only taboo, or mental illness is not only taboo in the black community, but it's also accepted. Being negatively affected by social media is a thing. It's not like it doesn't exist. It's a very, very real thing. And then, especially with these groups, these mobs, and they do online community mobbing. And it's like I've seen them put certain people in chains. I have seen black men put nooses around the necks of other black men. Now, people like Tommy Sotomayor, he put nooses around the black woman's neck. And I believe that black women in social media are still recovering. Imagine your grandma. And see, this is the whole thing. And people don't relate that. People don't see the distinction. You want to know one of the reasons why your grandma's pictures are being posted and there's another black man talking about her, laughing at her? You know why? He's emulating Tommy Sotomayor. Now, how do you as a grown man come to social media and start emulating someone else? And from what I've seen, nobody actually discusses or talks about the problem. Nobody actually acknowledges it. I mean, at one point, and there probably still are troll accounts like that, they actually used my grandmother, her picture, as a troll account. And my grandmother was the sweetest lady that I could have ever known in my life. This lady wouldn't have never done any harm to anybody. You know where that comes from? That comes from the hatred that is being shown to black women throughout social media by these vloggers. I was talking about my grandmother one day because my grandmother is and always will be my heart and soul. And somebody came in my chat room and said, "That's not your grandmother, that's a demon." You know why? Because of social media programming. I have seen social media change people. I have seen people every single day get addicted to social media and the fuckery in social media. They change. It's annoying. And you know what? We sit back and we do nothing. We sit back and we do nothing because it goes along with people's desires. So either way, people feel, well, I feel good about that because, well, you're only trying to degrade and diss the black woman. And then you have black women that come in and degrade and diss each other. When in the hell are black people going to start treating each other like friggin' human beings? It is so sad. It is so disappointing. So a lot of people say, well, just get off of social media. Well, that's not an option for me because I'm running a business. That kind of doesn't matter, though. There should be a zero tolerance. A black male should not be able to come to social media, latch on to a woman, and that woman be judged and shamed because he won't leave her alone. A lot of these black men are under possession. They totally like it's like they came to social media and lost their minds. All I know is that anybody in social media that tries to change my life or bully me, my ancestors are coming for you. That's what I will tell you. They coming. Trust me, they coming. They coming. And this ain't even about black or white. This is about right and wrong. How does a male feel comfortable and justified in stalking and sexually harassing somebody in social media? When do we raise the bar and the standards? See, for me, I have much higher standards, especially in 2022. Like in 2015, I was several years younger, maybe a little bit more open to some fuckery. I am 45 years old now. I'm not good with the fuckery. I wasn't good with it then. And I believe that the reason why it's because you know what? I'm immune to their negative energy now. I'm totally immune to it. The past couple of days have been a test, seriously. And I can honestly say that the negative energy that I used to feel coming into me, I don't feel that anymore. I don't feel any of it. Because I remember the last time, it's almost like a crowd surge effect. And this was like a few years ago when that incident happened at Astro World. And I did a live about it. And I was talking about it. And of course, at the time, there was always a show or some kind of panel that was happening about me. Okay. And so I clicked on the video and it felt like something had swarmed me. Now, I don't experience that anymore because I put up a barrier and a blockage. I think that online bullying and manipulation needs to be nipped in the bud. And I think that it needs to be done on a judicial level. If you are an owner of a channel and you consistently, your channel is all about pinpointing and bullying one person, and you don't want to stop and you refuse to stop, I believe that, especially when it's particularly negative, when it is leading to people's houses being swatted and things of that nature, I believe that if you are running that kind of platform, it can be considered to be a hate crime. And I believe that eventually in the future, they're going to start locking people up for that. And I think that they should, because I think it's very, very dangerous. I have seen people that I cared about being manipulated into meeting up with people to fight with them. And you got to understand, this was a very, very scary, shocking, very, very edgy experience for me, because I have lost people that I care about. I have had cousins murdered. My cousin Tia was murdered by her fiance. Coincidentally, because he thought that she was cheating on him. He murdered her and then he murdered himself. Social media can be dangerous because people are purposely trying to tap into your brain. And I think that it's important to control yourself. If you watch a certain channel that makes you angry, that makes you think delusional thoughts, you shouldn't watch that channel. If there is a channel that specifically targets, I'm not talking about communicating. I'm not talking about that, because I've used YouTube as a form of communication or either a form of venting when I've been done wrong by one of these black men that act like they have no good sense. Okay. I'm talking about your channel is specifically set up so that you can target people. I believe channels like that need to be removed. I'm not talking about commentary channels. A lot of the times when people make commentary channels, they will even say, in no means do I condone any hate for this person. There are channels on here that are targeting people, and they definitely have an intent to bring hatred to that person. Why? Because they want to use their platform to manipulate. It's just like witchcraft. Only it really has no purpose. The standards have to be set high and the bar has to be set higher. You realize that, let's talk about Tommy Sotomayor. His intent was not to make the Black community better. His intent was to cause chaos and pain and destruction to as many Black people as possible. I hope y'all realize that. In fact, one of the guys that is still stalking me is a fan of him, of his, which is why you see that the Black sector, those are minions of Tommy Sotomayor. Who do they hate? They hate Black women. Black women that follow Tommy Sotomayor. Who do they hate? They hate Black women. A lot of the women that follow Tommy, a lot of the Black women, a lot of the Black men, they too, like Tommy, just hated Black people just because they were Black. You can be accepted in the club if you show pure, unadulterated hatred for a Black woman and her children. That's kind of the initiation into these online gangs. You not only have to show hatred to the Black woman, but you got to make sure that you dog out her kids, and then you'll be accepted in the club. There's no payment, there's no money, there's no fringe benefits, but as long as you do those two things, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter if you're a Black woman or Black. That is the legacy that Tommy Sotomayor has left behind. These people are all still under his spell, all of them, even though he's gone. Tommy's gone. He ain't coming back to this platform, and there's a reason for that. And you know what a lot of Black men will say? They'll say, oh, they always trying to keep a Black man down. No, that man wanted destruction in the Black community. He wanted Black women to be mangled and destroyed and embarrassed and humiliated. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Y'all want to take a wild guess? Heartbroken, heartache. Some Black woman didn't want him. That's what that's about. Rejection. He got rejected. And so now we're left behind with minions of his. Okay, I didn't start having problems on this platform actually until I made a video response to Tommy Sotomayor. It was very innocent. I innocently made a response to him. Wait a minute. I stumbled upon his video and he was saying Black women hate their children. Black women are the worst stewards of children. Black women abuse children. Black women, black. I made a video response. I said, well, Tommy, I'm a Black woman and I love my children very much. Several years of stalking and degradation followed me after that one video. That's okay, though, because my ancestors took care of him. Real lovely, real lovely. Okay? Right after that, right after he sat up there and made that video, literally all I said was that I love my kids, and Tommy called me all kind of fucking idiots. Literally. All I said was I love my kids. He called me an idiot. And he did it right with his girlfriend, Lana, sitting right next to him at that time. And they broke up less than a month later, literally. A lot of you black men did not hate yourselves. A lot of you black women did not hate yourselves until you came to this platform and started listening to that crap. And you know what? I'm sorry, you're weak-minded. You became very, very weak-minded. You know what convinced you to hate yourself? Is the views. That was all it took. Oh, he must be telling the truth because he's got a lot of views. Wow. Oh, he's got a lot of likes. Ooh, he must be telling the truth because he has views and likes. A lot of y'all's lives have been ruined because of people in social media, because of their emotional problems, because of their mental illnesses. Tommy Sotomayor is very, very mentally ill. Kevin Samuels, mentally ill. Now he's got Kevin Samuels still has a bunch of men running around the internet looking for blow up dolls. Y'all don't even know what a real woman is supposed to look like. Y'all act like a woman. In order for her to be a woman, she's got to have triple D breasts with a 10-inch waist and a big unnatural booty. Y'all don't even know what real women look like. Real women are shaped up in all different ways. Y'all have literally came to this platform and became programmed by artificial intelligence. And it's sad. It's an embarrassment to even be friends with a black woman in social media if she's single with children. It's an embarrassment to be claimed on YouTube if a woman is black and single with children. Hey, Miss Ferry. How could you black people be that weak-minded? Somebody asks you something, it's literally like your brains have been taken over. When does it end? When do you snap out of it? When do you wake up? All of the black women that you see making videos and vlogs, they are somebody's child. They may be somebody's mother, cousin, auntie, and you just step over each other like trash. What is wrong with you people? Why can't you wake up? You diss and degrade each other day and night because you're possessed by social media. Absolutely ridiculous what black people did to themselves on this website. And yeah, there are a lot of black people, I like to focus on the channels of people that are not on that frequency. The fact that you even still watch that garbage lets me know that you are possessed. Time to wake up. You are not doing God's work. You are not doing what God wants you to do. You're not. You're far removed. You're a zombie. You're a robot. You just come to social media and you agree with these people and they don't care about you. And Coincidentally, they're always relationship gurus. They're always trying to give you advice on your relationship. Sound familiar? All of this crap started with that dude. You know why? I'm going to tell you the real reason why. It's because he hated himself because he was black. How could you let somebody with so much self hatred change who you are to the point where you're completely lost? An absentee father, being raised by a single mother, that's not why you're the way you are. In fact, many of you were living very good lives, and all of a sudden, Tommy and other black male vloggers told you that it was time for you to be angry at your own parents for making mistakes 20 years ago. You ever wonder why those mistakes? I mean, you know, hell, some of y'all parents, I wish I had y'all parents sometimes. Y'all don't even appreciate the parents that y'all have. Y'all tripping off of mistakes that your parents made when you were a kid. And a lot of y'all have it good and you don't even appreciate it. I don't care what race you are. I work every day, come home and cook dinner and raise my children, and to have them come to social media and tell me and join some damn group that tells me that whether or not I was in a single parent home or any other type of home, that my home or my parent was not good enough because so and so said it. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be rolling over in my grave. And yeah, I will tell you that there are black women on this website that do fit into that stereotype that just attack people. I agree, but they own the same frequency as you are, the same exact one. They hate you because you're another black person. Listen, I was raised in the Midwest. It was not until I came to YouTube and fell into the underneath the umbrella of that crap that I ever even knew that hatred for black people even existed. It's like y'all all came to the internet and found each other. Because I can assure you that yeah, there's black on black crime. There's always going to be interracial crimes that are committed. Yes. Okay, there are some people that are just violent and stupid. Okay? But there's never actually the inherent racial tension between black people. It doesn't actually exist. Yeah, sometimes I may go to restaurants or McDonald's and it may be a black woman taking my order and she might have an attitude. Hell, maybe she's having PMS that day. All of y'all, all of everybody that got caught up in that, your perception of reality changed a lot. Because if you go somewhere and you run into a black person with an attitude, all of a sudden it's because they're black. Maybe they just have an attitude. Maybe they were having a bad day that day. Maybe their boss was getting on their nerves that day. That's why I'm so glad that Tommy's not on this platform. But you still have that black sector. That black sector has to go. They got to go. Certain people in that sector that is still carrying out that agenda against black women. You go to your channel and you use the words single mother in a derogatory term, you should be kicked off of this platform because you are abusing vulnerable individuals. And this website takes a while. You know, I've actually done petitions on a lot of them. I've done petitions on the past to get them off of here because they should be. You sit on your platform and you hate on black women, and then you try to say, oh well, it's not black women, it's just I just have a problem with you. You're no different from a narcissist that abuses one child and claims that you like children, but you just abuse that one kid. You're no different. These people have to get off of this website. They have to go. And you can tell when they're getting ready to go because they start attacking me. And that's when it's time for you to go. I don't know if they're going to go to Clubhouse or Patreon, and Patreon will kick you off too. There have been people with very good content that have been kicked off of Patreon. They got to go. And I'm an advocate for you to go. The thing of it is about mental illness. If you notice when somebody is having a mental illness, okay, and you know, people like Tommy admitted to being depressed. Thing of it is about mental illness is that it can be catching. And then especially if you are broadcasting over the airwaves, it can be catching. And so the trap was set by black people for black people. The trap was set for you to think, oh, these are black people. I have to follow them simply because they're black, even though their content is either derogatory, ignorant, worthless. Then I'm sorry, I'm different. Okay, middle finger up to my competition. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Okay. I don't watch a channel simply because they're black and I assume that, oh, I'm a black person. I have to watch somebody ignorant. Like, I like a good joke, but we done moved beyond that. This is no joke. And something's got to be done about it. Okay? Something's got to be done about it. And somebody said to me a few weeks ago, they said, these people out here doing all this stuff, they don't realize that one day they're going to run into the wrong person and the wrong person is going to show up. And I do believe that that's going to happen to a lot of people. Not to me, not ever, but it's going to happen to some people. Right. They are, I'm telling you, and they don't realize how it is affecting them. You know, I've dealt with people talking about me, and you can see how they can make people angry specifically and make them start targeting people. So, I want to do something about it. I think that if we get enough people to sign a petition, that we can get some of these people off of this website. Doing the same thing that they're doing, stalking them, talking about them all the time, that's not going to do it. You have to, if somebody needs to be removed from YouTube, there needs to be a petition, and their content has to qualify for somebody to be removed. And see, I've gotten caught up in it because people that I care about are involved. And like my new channel, my botanical channel that I made, I had used it to respond. And, I had gotten a community guideline. It basically said we're putting your content on age restriction. Okay. So all of those videos are gone, because it's not the type of content that I want to put out. Every Black person on here doesn't want to commune with that. And it's not to say that, and they'll say things like, oh, well, you ain't no better. It ain't even about being better. It's about being smart. And that sickness has been spread throughout YouTube, which I like YouTube. I like YouTube. I don't like those sectors or those sects of people. They need to get out and get off of this website and go and speak to the nearest therapist. Because I'm going to tell you, some of the things that they did to me, I believe that because I believe that when you hear things in repetition, that's why they say things over. And you notice how they repeat things? Because they're trying to control you. They're trying to literally wipe your mind or reprogram your brain. And that's something that trust me, I have. Let me tell you something. From the moment I could comprehend this world around me, I knew, I've always been that type of child, that type of person. I've always had that kind of mind to where, I could, it's like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I see you. And I don't like what I see. And I think it's a shame. I think that Black people on this website need to really, really take a look at themselves and take accountability. They need to take account of what exactly is going on. You didn't hate Black people until you came to this website and ran into those people. Maybe you was upset at a Black person. Hey, Erica. Maybe you were upset at a Black person, but you didn't have pure, unadulterated hate. And you have to admit, the first, way that you start to go get some help is admitting to the problem. And most people are too egotistical to admit, yeah, you know what? I did come to this website and I did notice that I started to develop feelings, not feelings, but opinions about people that may have been, racist or stereotypical. You got to admit that you have a problem, and you have to admit that these people have had an effect over on you and they have had power over you. And there's some people that just don't want to admit it, but you don't have a choice but to admit it. Because how are you going to get better if you can't admit to that? Okay? Those types of channels, that's why Tommy is gone. That's why Kevin Samuels is gone. Those types of channels, the creators of the channel, the creator of the channel, and Kevin Samuels was actually being financed on his channel. Okay. They had a specific agenda. Okay. Good morning, Nubian Goddess. They had a specific agenda. Do you understand me? And that's why they're no longer here. Okay, you got to go look at that Kevin Samuels reading that I did. Yeah, it's very shameful. It's obvious, but I think that if you are somebody that's caught up in that energy, you just have no idea. You're kind of just like being overtaken by it. You know what I'm saying? And responding to it doesn't mean that you're overtaken. It's when you look at somebody that has a specific agenda and you start to do and behave and fall in a line, and you literally become a puppet. Yeah, he's gone. Yep, he's dead. You literally become a puppet. Okay? Yeah, he's unemployed. Yep. And I don't know what's going on with him. I don't follow him on Instagram, but I think that he owes a lot of Black women and the Black community an apology, or he's going to stay that way. Yeah, he needs to go. I agree. I agree. He's gone. Tommy's gone. He's not on here. They won't. He's tried to create channels since they banned him, and he's officially banned from this website. And there needs to be other people. But I think that those other people, their channels are not big enough to get banned. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they are attacking specific individuals, and I'm one of them. And my ancestors will take care of that, honey. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely canceled. And a lot of these other ones need to be canceled. And they look at us, like Erica is a working witch that offers work. They look at us as we're the bad guys. And it's like, no, we're not. We're offering a valuable service to people. Y'all, on the other hand, are placing people under like mind control, and they are using MK Ultra tactics. I've caught them doing it. I've caught them doing it. They use MK Ultra tactics. To recognize what they're doing, you have to do research on MK Ultra. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what they're doing. COINTELPRO as well. And so I guess they're gonna, get away with it and stay as long as they can. But it's up to you to not fall for that. The accusations. I found myself, being involved with people that are caught up in that. It's just constant accusations. Literally not doing anything wrong, but being blamed. Literally not saying anything, but being disrespected. And that is factually because of that mind control. Hmm. Oh, Erica, he's gone. He's been gone for months. He has started an OnlyFans account where I guess they said that he was, sleeping with, sex workers and stuff. Yeah, yeah, and it's bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. After I noticed. Okay, I've got to go. That's my cue, y'all. I got to do a reading. Yeah, it's and you know what? I think that the reason why they are, I think the reason why they are the way that they are is because they didn't really know any better. And I think that if a person has had trauma in their life, then they can be easily manipulated. Because I've seen people get totally manipulated, totally, and I've actually seen it with my own two eyes. Like in my personal life, I've seen some of these people, and they're not the most intelligent people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're still able to be manipulative to other people, and they're manipulating people within the Black community. And it is because of the self-hatred, and they want to destroy your lives. That, you know, that Kevin Samuels didn't give a damn about his audience. And I told y'all that. He did not care about the lives of the people that he was ruining. And I'm talking about it's so unnatural. When you look at it, it's the most unnatural thing ever. It was like looking at an alien, seeing Tommy up there literally dogging out deceased Black people that got killed, Black people that died, talking about people's grandma, talking about people's mama. It was the most foreign thing ever. It was like, what is this? It reminded you of the Twilight Zone. But it wasn't that. It was just a Black man on here vlogging, angry, and being able, you know, having the ability to manipulate. Yeah, he's gone. Yes, he's gone. So, you know, thank the gods that he's gone. But they're carrying out his legacy, because so many of these Black men bowed down to him and treated him like he was a god, when in reality it was all self-hatred and misogyny is what it was. And they think that it was okay because Tommy had views. That's all they need to be manipulated. Don't matter what a person is saying, don't matter what they're about, as long as they got views. If they got views, then it must be right. No. Okay. Yeah, he definitely was. And you know, there are quite a few things, you know, that, you know, just thinking about it as a human being, you know, things that can happen to you that can literally break you, especially when it comes to loss or tragic losses. But that's not what's going on with these people. Like, I could see if they had a tragic loss of a child, or if something happened to them, but they don't have that issue. Like I'm just saying, like, if a person becomes very bitter, if a person becomes very angry, I can understand how they would lose touch, and why they would, you know, just feel like they need to be evil. I could, you know, I really could see that. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't the case. They just said, I'm going to come to this website and basically commit genocide, and I don't care, and I'm going to do it to get paid. And you see how they all end up broke, homeless, or dead. Um, I don't even know who Takeoff is. I'll look into it. I saw somebody speaking about it earlier, but I couldn't listen. Um, yeah, they are very toxic. And, you know, I think that toxicity can, you know, there's obviously areas of the Black community that are very toxic, of course. You know, that's with every community. But whenever you literally become a different person, you know, trauma and, you know, bad things don't have to just come in the form of violence and murder. You know, it can be emotional abuse, it can be spiritual abuse, it can be, you know, just general maltreatment. A lot of them feel justified in mistreating each other, and especially mistreating a vulnerable Black woman. And it's pretty disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely, Erica. I have two sons, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and they would never watch any of that crap. It's literal crap, and I think that they ruin lives, and they're proud of it. They are so proud of what they do, which is ridiculous. And trust me, I've seen some of the crazy ones. There was this one guy on here. Like, I literally had never done anything to this man but existed. And he was making videos about me on his channel, and he was real crazy because he had a clock ticking in the background. And you could tell that he was Black. And he would make these videos with a picture of a Black woman in turmoil and pain. That is the sickest thing ever. And I don't think that most of them would go that far if it were not for them in social media. And see, this is the whole thing. They say, "Oh well, Black women are doing it too. Look at Miss, what's her name's? I think Cynthia G and a couple of them saying don't give birth to Black sons and things of that nature." And I don't agree with that either, because I have Black sons. Okay, I don't agree with that at all. But I think that they are responding to the men, because whatever the men do, if you notice throughout history, even with the feminist movement, women follow and trail behind men. So I think that if these men were not doing it, the women would not be doing it. I think they're responding and they're defending themselves against these men. Because let's face it, in society, men are cherished and listened to and coddled above the woman, especially in the Black community, right? And they are given more of a voice. And so when it comes to women, they're simply defending themselves against these men who literally sometimes get away with murder. Sometimes they get away with murder. They get away with the abuse and the trauma that they have inflicted on women in their lives. They get away with it every single day. you know yeah, it's not, and it needs to change. It needs to change, absolutely. And I'm not saying that these men are angels or that they are the best people in the world, because I think that on some level they are corrupt. But I believe that some of them came to this website and became corrupted and placed under mind control. And so it's almost like, and I've seen it, they have a personality in real life, but then they have a personality on YouTube. And what's strangely sad about it is that I have seen certain people merge that online personification with their real self, and that's dangerous. Okay, to the point where there was I don't know why I can't think of this young lady's name. She was murdered off of YouTube. I can't think of her name though. Okay. I think her name was Aisha something. I can't think of her name. I'm sorry. She was murdered years ago by a male. I think that they were on YouTube, but they went to college together or something, and he murdered her. He became obsessed with her and murdered her. And so these men that are running around here acting crazy, how do they know How are we supposed to know or feel comfortable when they're running around the internet acting crazy and stalking us? How are we supposed to actually feel safe? And what are we going to do to defend ourselves? I know I've been having a long talk with my ancestors for the past 3 days. You can start there. And I thought it was funny how, Tommy would use the reference BT 1000. Well, take a look around you, Tommy. A lot of these men in social media, it's like dealing with cyberdyne technologies, honestly. And let's face it. If you've dealt with a difficult black man, you know that they do things, whether or not it's overt or covert, to be very disrespectful and demeaning. So, I can honestly speak for the black woman. I can speak for her to say that many of us are good people, down to earth people, decent people, and we do not flip or say anything to the black man until he does something to us to facilitate that. At least for me. At least for me, okay? And I mean, a lot of them will say, "Oh, well, you're antagonizing us, you're being disrespectful." And I agree. I don't think that a woman should, personally, I wouldn't tell my sons to hit a woman unless if she was trying to kill them. But if a woman is, I'd say just get away from her. I'm not gonna tell my sons, oh, if that woman hits you, you need to beat the crap out of her and pound cake her or some crap. That's a bunch of crap. And that is not the way that men behave. Okay, now I'm not saying that a woman should be laying her hands on a man. I don't agree with that at all because men are sort of these silent victims of domestic violence. And I do know that that exists. Absolutely. But I think that when it's online, they take it for granted. They think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's a victimless crime. That's actually very untrue. That's actually very untrue. That people. I mean, I don't know. They gaslight you. You can look up the symptoms and the problems and the side effects of somebody being stalked on the internet. It's just as devastating, if not more devastating, than somebody in real life stalking you, because at least that person that you know in real life, you know where they are, you know where you can find them. If it's somebody stalking you on the internet, you don't know where they're at. So you can't even get any kind of justice in the situation. And I think that the police need to watch these people more and step in and do something. Because I've been stalked by people on this platform and I wasn't even responding to them. 4 or 5 months will go by and they'll be on their channels stalking, harassing me. And I'll just ignore them and they continue to do it until they get your attention. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Right. Yeah. Right, exactly, exactly. And how many women do you know is going to respond to a man disrespecting her, calling her out of her name, talking down to her? How many of y'all know a woman that is going to respond to that in a respectful way? No, we're not going to do it. So basically, it's almost like, they used the whole thing that was against black women and other women. They use that to take advantage of our kindness and try to back us into a wall and say, oh, I can do whatever I want to do to you. I can treat you any kind of way. I can talk to you any kind of way. Because if you say anything back to me, then, you know, you basically you have to take my abuse because you're a single mother, or you have to take my abuse because so and so ain't cool with you, or you got to take my abuse because they talking about you. I don't, and you can tell that, yeah, there are some people, obviously they had to have problems, to even have that mentality to even do that. But I think the fact that all of that anger and resentment got directed towards the Black woman, to the point that somebody else altogether can do something to a Black man and he'll take it out on the Black woman. So they've been getting groomed and programmed in social media to take out what's happening to them from somewhere else on us. You see what I'm saying? And that's happened to me dozens of times. Anything going on, oh, let me come over here and take it out on you. Why? Because you're a Black woman. Okay, even the anger that these Black men have towards each other, even if they express anger towards the Black man that is actually making the mistake, they have to also direct anger towards the Black woman or towards a Black woman. And this is something that if you were familiar with Tommy Sotomayor's content, that's where that was a learned behavior. They wasn't doing that before they came to social media, which means that they were taught to scapegoat everything onto us. We had to carry everything on our backs. And we're not saying take that anger out on a white woman. We're not saying that. We're saying don't take your anger out on anybody. Learn anger management. Learn what to do with that anger. Get a punching bag. Work out, exercise, eat right. Okay, meditate. That's what we're saying. Okay. But I've got to go, guys. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting me, because it's heartbreaking. It is. It's heartbreaking seeing some of the things that I've seen in social media and the obvious agenda that some of these people are on. And, I'm not afraid to speak out about it, and I never will be. Okay. But I'm getting all kind of notifications, so I've got to go, you guys. I will see you guys later. Y'all stay cool, okay? And y'all keep y'all heads up, because it's a war. It's a war against the Black woman that has been predicated by Black men, and it's trickling down. It's definitely trickling down. It's definitely reaching us in real life now. And it's been happening for 2 years now. Okay? Call to your ancestors. Yeah, they do. They do. And now we need healing and therapy too. Like, every night before I go to bed, I listen to healing frequencies and stuff, and those are really good. And, I do yoga and I stretch and I breathe, and, you know, it's exhausting. But yeah, blessings to all of you guys, and I will see you later. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for listening.